So you don't have time to work out. I believe you. Just kidding. No, I don't. But this will be the most practical guide you've ever received to fit working out into your unbearably busy schedule. I've ranked 4 cases where there is some viable excuse for not working out. Not viable enough, of course, ranked from worst excuse to best excuse. But let's start with some overarching principles. Number one, your workouts should last between 45 minutes and 1 hour. They should never be over an hour. Number two, to make the workouts actually effective, very effective, in this short span of time, you should utilize intensity techniques like 2 straight sets to failure or 1 drop set to failure, maybe a drop set of 3 to 4 sets with long rest periods in between those 2 straight sets or between 2 drop sets. But that's everything for one exercise. Just 2 straight sets to failure or 1 massive drop set to failure. And you should be fried when you do this. This should be more than enough muscle stimulation for you if you do it correctly. Do not program something like 3 by 10 working sets for each exercise. This can be very effective if you're doing something like an hour-and-a-half workout, but if you're on a time crunch for that 45 minutes to 1 hour, it's simply not going to be as effective as using two, huge intensity sets to failure or 1 massive drop set to failure. Some studies have proved that drop sets have more growth than straight sets. Other studies have proved otherwise. But either way, you should know that this will be enough to make gains and make progressive overload. Okay, so let's start with the first excuse, possibly the easiest one to address and the least viable. You're a student. In this case, I'm referring to a college student. This is easy. You pick your own schedule. So factor in workout time when you're selecting classes. But why is this a good excuse to some extent? It's tough because you're basically studying and doing work 7 days a week, unlike a traditional job where you don't have homework, you don't have exams. When you're a student, you have to study and you have tests. So assuming you have a hard major, you actually have to be working all the time. Now, my advice here, start your classes late, something like 12 p.m. You could go late for your classes to like 8 p.m. or something, and then work out at night at like 10 or 11. You should have enough time to eat a post-workout meal and then get your 8 hours of sleep, more than enough time, before your 12 p.m. class the next day. This is actually what I did. I used to work out at 10, 11, even 12 a.m. when I was in college, and it worked out perfectly for me. My class was at 12 p.m. the next day. I would wake up at like 10, give myself plenty of time. You also have time after your classes to study, and of course on the weekends as well. So that's what I would do if you were a student. Factor in the workout time when you're creating your schedule, and best of all, put that workout in at night. Give yourself plenty of time in the morning, because morning workouts are grueling, and they will come into play later in this video. Excuse number two, getting slightly more viable now. You're a parent. So in this case, you have to actually deal with your child after school. Maybe you have to pick them up, you have to give them dinner, help them with homework. So point one, alternate workout days with the other parent for school pickups. So maybe each of you can work out every other day or something like that. And here's the big piece of advice. Go to the gym immediately after work. Don't even think about going home, because when you go home and you see your lover and you see your child, you will not want to go to the gym. There's almost no way you're gonna make it to the gym. So go to the gym immediately after work and alternate days with your partner. Make it work for you guys. Put health as a priority, because if you are healthy, then you could be your best self for your child. If you're not healthy and you feel like shit, you will not be your best self for your child. And they look at actions, they don't look at words. They look at how you behave and how you act. Okay. So number three, these excuses are ranking more and more viable, but still not viable enough. You're a caretaker of a parent or something, or an investment banker, or any case where there's absolutely no way you could get to the gym after work. Now, this one is starting to get grueling because you have to bite the bullet and work out in the morning. I've never done this myself because I've thought about it and it just seems very painful and not possible, and you have to wake up at 4:30 or 5 a.m. or something. But if there's absolutely no other way, then you have to do this. So even at my busiest times during college, I chose to work out at midnight rather than work out in the morning. My advice here is wake up and go straight into the workout fasted with a coffee. That way you waste as little time as possible from your sleep, because sleep is very important. So you get that sleep time back, even if it's like 30 minutes from skipping a meal. And also, since we're utilizing intensity techniques here, like drop sets and these crazy sets to failure, so that you could get enough of a muscle workout in that short amount of time, a meal might make you sick, even if it's something small. So avoid the meal, go straight in with the coffee, but you do get a massive benefit here, which night lifters don't get, and even evening lifters don't get if they're smart, which is caffeine. It actually makes a huge difference. You can lift more weight, measurably more weight, you get exhausted less quickly, so you could go for more reps, and you overall feel better when you work out. There's plenty of data to support this. It's very, very one-sided data in favor of caffeine. So you do get a massive benefit, even though you have to bite the bullet and work out at fucking 5 o'clock in the morning, you get caffeine. Now, what is, in my opinion, the most viable excuse to not working out is you work manual labor. I've had manual labor jobs, and this is possibly the most viable excuse because the actual quality of the workout is severely impacted. Even if you manage to muster up enough energy to work out, it feels very exhausting and it feels like progress is hard to make. Your energy is sapped, your resilience is sapped, you can't go for long rep sets. It's hard to output a lot of power to go for short rep sets. So here's my advice for this one. Take an extended 3 to 4 hour break after work. These jobs tend to start early and end at a normal time, like 5 p.m. or something. So you have those 3 to 4 hours to take a break, maybe be with your wife and child, recharge, and then go in for a workout at around 9 or 10 p.m. That way you could actually have the energy to progressively overload and push yourself in the gym. Utilizing those same intensity techniques is an overarching principle. Now, if for some reason that's really not possible for you, or you just don't want to do it, you're going to have to bite the bullet for the morning workout, just like our friends the investment bankers or the caretakers, before the manual labor begins. The benefit of this is you don't have that energy sap from the job. The downside is you have to make sure to go to sleep early because manual labor jobs already tend to start early at like 6:30 or 7 a.m. or something. And yeah, working out is going to have to happen at like 4:30 in the morning. I don't even know. But that's your other option. My main recommendation would be to take those couple hours after the gym to recharge. So there you have it. I've addressed all the excuses. Well, not all, but most of the excuses for not having time to work out. I don't want to hear shit from the students. Those excuses are barely viable. The parents, at some point, we all become parents, and many still work out. And then 3 and 4 are more viable, but I've provided my recommendation and hopefully it helps. That's it.